So today I'm going to approach the problem that we see on the left part of my screen. And that means that we're going to write a function that accepts an array as argument, and it should shift all elements of the array by 2 to the right. All elements exiting from the array should re-enter on the left. Let's see an example of what I mean with that. So let's suppose that we have an array as such, 5, and then 0. So these last two elements are the ones that are going to be shifted outside. So what that means is that the new array would be, so this 0 here is going to arrive at this position, but then the 5 would come after it and then push it in position with index 1. So it would be first 0 here, and then we would have a 5 here, because they exit from the right and then they re-enter from the left. And all the other numbers follow. As you can see here, I have shifted everything by 2. So the particular thing is that these two elements are now at the beginning of the array. So what it means is basically I have to find a way to deal with these two elements here. Since there is nothing here, I can't lose them while shifting. I will put them in two variables. So I will use two variables to hold those values. So I will put in first whatever will appear here. So first would be array of array dot length minus 2. So let's see what this means. Let's start from this part here. So we know that this position here is array.length minus 2. So the index here is array.length minus 2, because we start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since this the length of this array is 6, then this index here is 5, array.length minus 1. So the previous of the last is array.length minus 1 minus 1. So array.length minus 2. So that would be the first element. The second element would be just minus 1. So the second element would be that. Second would be exactly the same as here, but with a minus 1 here. So the last element of the array. So how do we shift the element? Now that we know that these two elements have been saved. So we have this. We don't have to worry about them anymore. So now, how do we shift all the remaining elements, all of these? So we could start from the left, but that would mean that, let's say that we start from 1, then shifting 1, 2 positions to the right would mean overwriting what we have in position 2. So in this case, this 9 would be overwritten. So we can't really start from the left. This is why we are not starting from the left, because we would lose information. So instead, let's start from the right. So what does it mean to move for 2 positions to the right? Well, it would mean taking this value and putting it 2 indexes to the right in this position. And since this value has been saved in a variable, then it's fine overwriting it. Then next, we go to the previous one and we move it 2 positions to the right. So here, again, this is safe to do because we have saved this, this value in a variable. And the rest follows, and it's always a safe operation because we move 7 to the 4 here, but the 4 has already been moved here, so we don't really care. There is no risk of overwriting anything here. So yeah, that's how we're going to proceed. So let's start writing a function that we might call shift to the right, which accepts an array. So in this case, we're going to be modifying the argument of the function. So this function works in place, which means that whatever gets passed in as argument is going to be modified. We're not going to copy anything. So it's kind of like a destructive operation. Yeah. So what we're going to do first, as we said, we're going to save in two variables whatever we have at this position. So that's going to be the first. So let's do that. So we have array, and we want to take the element which is at array dot length -2, because this is -1 and this is -2. So we would have, let's say in our example, we would have 5 inside first. Now, let's do the same thing for second. And this time will be -1, because it would be this position. So we did that. Now we have to go in this direction, this way, taking each element one by one and moving it to the right by 2 positions. So we start with a for loop. So since we're going to start from this position, we're going to start from array dot length -1, -2, -3. So this would be our start. So I would be array dot length -3. We want to loop through all elements of the array. So we want to arrive until here. And since that's index 0, this is why we're going to say I greater or equal than 0. And then we do -1, -, because we want to proceed this way. So as you can see, all the indexes of the array are moving to the left, let's say, 1 by 1. So 3, 2, 1, 0, decreasing. Okay. So now we're going to shift. So what does shifting mean? So it means take array, and we take the position 2 places to the right of the current position. So it would be I plus 2, because let's say, for example, that we are here at position 1. So we have to shift 7 to the right. So 7 would have to go here. And as you can see, we are at position 3, which means that we add the 2 to our position to arrive to 3, from 1 to 3. So let's do that. And what are we going to put in this position? Well, the current element. Current element is at position I. So the value is identified by this bit here. So array of I. And this is basically it. Now we're going to put back whatever we saved at line 7 and 8 in the correct places. So that would be first, the variable first, and second, the variable second. So we gave the 2 variables a meaningful name. So let's do that. Array 0 equals first, and array 1 equals second. Okay, since we are modifying the array in place, as I was saying at the beginning, we don't need to return anything. So let's test this. So shift to the right, but first we have to define an array. So let's call it R equals exactly in our example. So 1, 7, 9, 4, 5, 0. And we're going to pass this variable as argument to the shift to the right function. And then we're going to log whatever we got. So let's do that and see what happens. So we get 501794. Let's see if that's correct. So 5 and 0 exit from the array. So 0 exit first, but then 5 comes after it. So we have to push this to the right. And so we get 5, 0, 1, 7, 9, 4. 5, 0, 1, 7, 9, 4. Yeah. So let's see what happens if we do this operation again. So we should be seeing a total shift by 4. So let's see if that's the case. So we get 9, 4, 5, 0, 1, 7, because again, 4 exits as first and would arrive here, but then 9 would push it to the right. So we have 9, 4, 5, 0, 1, 7. 9, 4, 5, 0, 1, 7. Yeah, and that's it basically. This is the function. So if you want to experiment a bit further, you can pass a second argument to the function, let's say shift to the right, which accepts a shift. So you can shift to the right by 4, or you can shift to the right by 1. So make this parametric so that you have to tweak the function a bit. And then once you're done with that, one thing that you could do is just rename the function to shift. You pass an array, and then maybe you can pass -5. So what this means is that when you have a negative number, then you're going to shift to the left. When instead you have a positive number, then you're going to shift then you're going to shift to the right. So this might be a good exercise, I think. So let me know in the comments if you want me to write these changes as a next video.